Today, I want to share with you a little bit about my break cue, and I want to show you how I practice with my break cue. So I was fortunate enough to win a tournament, and I took my money from the tournament, and I bought this shaft, and I put it on a Q-Tech jump break that I'd had for many years. But I felt like I wasn't getting the maximum benefit from the new shaft. So I was reminded of a study that was done that stated that a lighter, faster brake cue imparts more energy into the rack than does a heavier, slower brake cue. And I had experimented with a friend of mine's lighter cue and was just getting some really good results out of it. So I got the local cue maker that I bought the shaft from to make me a carbon fiber butt. And altogether, this brake cue is 14 ounces. Which I'm getting a lot better results with it. And an added bonus when he got me to test it, when I paid him for it and walked out with it, he said, try jumping with it. So I started jumping with it and got much better results from using this as a jump cue, full stick, than I do with my dedicated short jump cue that I've been using for years. And from the jump break, when I would take the end of the butt off, I was just getting much better consistent results with this cue. Now, a little bit of a disclaimer. I bought this from Frank Dunn of Done Right Cues in Houston. I'm not receiving any type of reimbursement or sponsorship from him. Really, honestly, I'm not a big enough channel to justify that. And he's just a one-man operation out of Fast Eddie's, Southeast Houston, to justify, sponsoring me. So I bought this because I trust his work. He does good work. We have mutual friends. So this is purely an investment that I made, and I couldn't be happier with the results. So no matter what cue you have, it's really useless unless you practice with it to get the maximum results from it. So that's what I'm going to show you in the next section of this video. So in order to practice the brake, there is a device that you can buy called the brake rack. And basically what it is, it's a big casted chunk of metal that goes here, that's held in place by two what appears to be fiberglass rods that holds it onto your table. And then there's a ball where the head ball would go. And then just above the brake rack is a radar gun. And it's typically one that people would use in golf to measure their club speed. And so you just set up where you would normally brake, and each time you strike it, the radar tells you how fast you're going. Now this device, I think it retails for somewhere around $480. I have used it before. It is very useful. By using a device like this, you end up getting far more reps than you would if you had to stop and re-rack the balls each time between reps. Now, if you don't have $480 to throw around, I have come up with an alternative solution. And my solution is to use a very cheap device called a pillow. And you put the pillow here, because when you're hitting it at break speed, sometimes if you don't hit it right, it'll hit the rail, and either the object ball or your cue ball will go flying off the table. And then it also, what it does is it keeps you from having to chase the ball, especially, if it just goes pinballing around the table. You end up getting more reps because the object ball is just hitting harmlessly into the pillow. So you get to do more repetitions and get more bang for your buck with your time. Now, the drawback for using this is there's no radar gun to give you a measurement on how well you're doing. So usually one of the ways that I tell that I'm doing at least something right is that if the cue ball is stopping or drawing, if the cue ball is not deflecting off of my object ball and just going around the table. There are fairly inexpensive radar guns or radar devices that are designed for golf and for baseball. But the problem that I've been finding is I haven't found one that measures a low enough, that starts at a low enough speed. Like most of them start at 20 miles an hour. I need one that starts at about 5 miles an hour and then goes up. The other problem that I've been having with locating a good radar device is that I need to be able to see the speed that I hit when I set this up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to boom it over with a C-stand, but I need it to read the speed of the cue ball and also where I can see the readout. But I haven't been able to find one that suits my purposes just yet. But as you might imagine, you just set up the ball there on the foot spot. And another thing I encourage you to do, I don't know if you can see it with my camera, but if you break enough without a pad, you're going to leave a lot of burn marks on your table. And I have quite a few. So this will preserve the cloth on your table. You could even use a business card if you didn't have one of these. So I'm going to set that up. And I'm just going to start hitting reps. And I usually start with really concentrating on my accuracy and not worrying so much about speed. And I just try to build my speed and power, starting with a lesser hit and then moving up as I get comfortable. And so whatever break technique that you're working with and things that I try that people show me, this is how I apply it. So that wasn't a good rep because you saw the cue ball came flying off to the side. I'm looking for cue ball, stopping, maybe popping and squatting, coming back straight. Again, not ideal. That one was better. Cue ball stayed more towards the center line when it hit. But you can already see that I'm getting more reps than if I was trying to re-rack the balls every time. Much better. So once I get into the groove of doing this multiple times in a row, I'm going to start upping how hard I'm hitting it. And what I'm concentrating on mostly is maintaining a very loose grip and a relaxed arm, because relaxed muscles are faster muscles. Okay, there I have it. So I hope I've given you something to go on, something to work with. And if you have any suggestions for videos, stuff you'd like to see, just let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Shoot straight with angles.